What's up guys, my name is Katie, welcome back for another video. So today I am going to be talking about why snakes have tails. And the fact that snakes do have tails is probably new information to you, unless you're a snake owner and then you cringe whenever people say that snakes are all tail, which I can understand because look at them. They're like all tail. I mean, I can understand that. Here's the problem though. They are not even close to being all tail. I'm briefly going to tell you what a snake's tail looks like and how to identify it. So this right there, that is their vent, also known as their cloaca, and their cloaca down, that is their tail. The way that people will oftentimes identify their sex is all based on their tail. Males tend to have a thick base of their tail and then it starts to taper, whereas females tend to have pretty short tails and it tapers right away. Another way people will sex them is by taking a set of probes. They'll insert the probe into their cloaca and down their tail, and then once they start to feel resistance, they stop, mark their finger there, pull the probe out, and count how many scales down from the vent to where their finger is. And I forget the actual scale number, but however many scales down your snake's tail is kind of identifies if it's a male or a female. So that's why it's really important to understand that they are not all tail, it's just from their vent down, because especially if you're a breeder, you are going to be needing that tail for whatever method you use to sex your snake. So now we're going to be talking about why snakes have this tail, and he is stuck in my hair. Hang on. Are you okay? I'm so sorry. Okay, there we go. Now that you know that snakes are not all tail, let's talk about why they actually have it. One reason snakes have it is hops off their spine, so their tail is obviously connected to their spine because yes, snakes have bones. That's another misconception, is that snakes don't have bones, which makes sense because they're noodles and noodles don't have bones. But actually snakes have several bones. They have a spine just like most animals and I was about to say most humans. All humans and most animals. They have a spine just like most humans. They have a spine just like most animals and all humans, with bones that project downward and act as a rib cage. However, they have that rib cage throughout their entire body, unlike us who we just have it in our chest. Males store their reproductive organs in their tail. Males' reproductive organs are actually called hemipenes. So you know when I mentioned the probing earlier, I believe males will have less scales from their vent to where your finger is than females because you'll feel resistance quicker because some of their tails storing their hemipenes. I believe, I could be wrong, definitely go and look that up before you take my word for it. I've never probed a snake, I'm not a licensed vet, I'm not an advanced snake keeper. If you are an advanced snake owner, well then you wouldn't be taking advice from an intermediate snake owner. Make sure if you are going to probe your snake, you either go to a licensed vet first to make sure that they teach you how to do it properly, or you just have the vet do it. Or if you know an advanced snake owner, you could go to them too to have them probe your snake. The last reason, and the biggest reason as to why they have tails, is because they use their tails to grip onto things. I'm gonna see if I can get him to do it, but if you put your finger on their tail, they are most likely going to wrap around it. And this is just to give them extra stability. Now, a big reason why snakes will do this is because every snake falls into one of three categories: arboreal, semi-arboreal, or terrestrial. Arboreal means that they spend over 50% of their time in trees. Terrestrial means that they spend over 50% of their time on the ground. And semi-arboreal, as you can imagine, is right in between, where they spend an equal amount of time on the ground and in the trees. An example of an arboreal species of snake is the green tree python. They spend, I believe, all of their time in trees except for getting food. You'll oftentimes see them curled up on branches or logs, and they generally prefer lots of height and lots of perches, versus other snakes who will prefer a lot of width in their enclosure to move around. But since green tree pythons don't move around a whole lot, they like to just chill in the trees, then honestly providing them with a lot of height and a lot of branches will be enough to satisfy them. An example of a terrestrial species are most snakes. They do like some things to climb around in just for enrichment, but generally they don't need a lot of height. They need a couple of branches in their enclosure and you'll pretty much be all set. I found that he doesn't even use his branches, so I actually moved his grapevine into Omelet's cage, and Omelet is an African egg-eating snake who is semi-arboreal, and I have seen her use the logs before, so I figured I might as well give it to a snake that would utilize it more. So you can provide branches if you want, just to make the cage look nice, but not 100% guarantee that your king snake will necessarily want to spend a lot of time on the branches. It's actually a misconception that all snakes that wrap their tail around you are arboreal or semi-arboreal. They're wrapping their tail around you because you're high off the ground. They don't know if they're gonna fall, so they're making sure that they're nice and secure around you. I just thought of another really good example of a terrestrial species, and that is the Kenyan Sand Boa. Kenyan Sand Boas spend, I think, all of their time on the ground. I have never heard of a Kenyan Sand Boa needing any sort of height. They love burrowing, they love building their homes underground, so that's a wonderful example of a terrestrial species. So that's pretty much all. If you thought of any other reasons why tails have snakes. So that's pretty much all. If you thought of any other reasons as to why snakes have tails, leave them in the comments. I'd love to No. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content like this. My well of ideas has been running completely dry lately. I feel like my videos have been seeming like I've been getting a little desperate. I mean, you saw last week's video. So if you have any video ideas that you want to see, leave them in the comments down below. It would really help me out. Be sure to subscribe to me and my sister's channel, which will be in the description box down below. Also follow me on Instagram. By the way, this is Severus Snake. He is my male Mexican black king snake. He was my first ever snake, and it was also around a time that I was really obsessed with Harry Potter. I still am, but not quite as much as I was, so Severus Snake here, ladies and gentlemen. We recently hit our 1-year gotcha day with him, which is just bizarre. He has at least doubled in size, maybe even tripled. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!